What's up, guys? Welcome back to What Cheers. I'm Nick, as always. Tonight we're going to take a look at one of the most talked about beers recently here in New England. This is the Lord Hobo Brewing Company BOOMSAUCE. Yeah, I don't know where to begin with this beer, honestly. It has been talked about more in the past couple months than anything I've seen on BeerAdvocate in the New England forum. So basically the deal is, guys, is that the owner of Lord Hobo, which is one of the most well-known favorite kind of beer bars in Cambridge, the owner there decided to open up his own brewery, and he announced it about a year ago. And when he announced it, he pretty much proclaimed that he was going to be making this incredible IPA that everyone was going to want. So there was like a good year of this sort of hype building up over this new IPA that he was making. And then the name was released, and there was little hints here and there about how good it was along the way. And so anyways, you know, it came out, and people were just basically burning this guy for everything that he had said, because I guess it just wasn't that amazing. And so it's been about a month since they released it in the first batch. I think I have the third batch here, which was canned on July 28th, and today is August 6th. So it's only a few days old, but I believe this is batch 3. So batch 1, people were really jumping on them about and being like, really, this is it? Like, it's not anything special. I mean, you've got Trillium, you've got Treehouse here, you know, that kind of thing. And it was like a lot of talk, you know. So apparently the second batch was better, and I believe this one, a buddy of mine told me that this one is drinking pretty damn good right now. So I don't know if they're still tweaking it, but it was just funny because people were complaining, and, you know, honestly, you've got a name for a beer that's BOOMSAUCE. It's already a little pretentious and a little silly, to be honest, a little cocky, you know. And I guess people had said some things, and somebody interviewed this guy Daniel, and he was like, "Well, if you don't like it, you can open up your own fucking brewery," or something super childish like that as his response. But you know, when you're hyping up a beer and when you haven't even made it yet for a year, I don't know really what you expect. And then name it BOOMSAUCE. So what is the beer, you're probably thinking? Well, the beer is actually a blend of 3 other beers that he makes. So it's not even an original beer. It's actually just a blend of 3 other IPAs that he makes. One is called Ball and Biscuit, one is called Consolation Prize, and one is called Steal This Can. And so on the can here, it says BOOMSAUCE is a blend of 3 of our New England style hoppy ales that will wrap you in a gently carbonated juice blanket. Sounds interesting. Sounds delicious. Please drink it fresh and keep it cold. And it just says on the can, Hoppy Ale, 8% alcohol. And that's pretty much it, guys. As I said, this was canned on the 28th of July. I just picked this up today. Up in Boston. I just had to try it, and it's going for $4.50 a can, which I think is, you know, a little pricey for one single 16-ounce can. So yeah, guys, this is like a week and a half old right now. I've had it out of the fridge for about a half hour, so it's pretty much perfect temperature. I'm absolutely going to give this beer a fair shake. This review is not meant to take a dig at Lord Hobo. I've just heard so much chit chat and chatter about this beer, good or bad or indifferent. I want to give it a fair shake and just see really what the hype was all about, what the deal is, if people are being too mean to these guys or what the deal is. I couldn't find any information about the hops in any of the beers. They all varied in alcohol as well. But I went to the website that's on the can here, lordhobobrewing.com, and the whole website is just a giant page with a background plastered with BOOMSAUCE in giant letters. So there you go, guys. That's the kind of, you know, I guess pretentiousness we're dealing with here, or arrogance, or whatever you want to call it. But obviously this guy is more than sold on thinking this beer is the end-all be-all of IPAs. So as I said, I have no idea what any of the hops are in any of the 3 beers. So I have no idea what hops or malt are in this beer. I have no idea IBUs. All I know is it's 8% and it says it's a hoppy ale. It doesn't even say it's a double IPA. So all that bullshit aside that I said about you know, my personal feelings going into this and what I read online, all that put aside for this review, just to look at the beer as, you know, again, looking at it at face value, looking at it for what it is, and we'll see how it comes out on the other side of this review, guys. And as usual, guys, I've had this out of the fridge for about a half hour now, perfect temperature to get right into it. So let's get into the boom sauce. All right, got the boom sauce poured out there, and yeah, I should have also said that I have not had any of the other 3 beers that make up this beer before. I haven't had anything from these guys whatsoever at all. So this is going into it completely fresh. So let's go look at this pretty nice looking beer, to be honest with you guys. 2 finger head here, slightly off white, kind of all different size bubbles. Definitely going to see that glass lacing show up on this one for certain. Kind of a fluffy head to it as well. Yeah, looks like actually looks exactly like, as advertised, New England style hoppy ale. I guess they don't call it double IPA, but that's what it is, I'm assuming. The color on this is a deep kind of copper / golden color to it. It's got it's hazy, you know, it's got a slight haziness throughout, but it's certainly not as crazy as some of the New England hoppy beers, but it does have that nice sort of haze throughout. A nice glowing color, to be honest, kind of golden, darker golden, burnt orange. I can see the carbonation streaming up kind of slowly and away from the light. Away from the light, it's a very, very dark orange, copper, burnt orange color. Almost bordering on a brownish reddish tone, to be honest. So yeah, let's go ahead and get the aroma on the boom sauce, guys. Well, there's not much popping out from the aroma, to be honest with you. Like, not a whole lot at all. To be honest with you, I'm getting like a slight sweetness, and this thing is seriously like bordering on cellar temp at this point. Like, I should be getting hit with a big punch of whatever this is hopped with. There's pretty much no nose to this beer whatsoever. There's a slight citrusy, sweet caramel malt type of thing. I mean, I'm sniffing hard and I can't even like pull much out of this at all. That's pretty bad as far as an aroma. Seriously, I cannot pull anything out of this. It smells like a nothing. I cannot believe that this beer smells like nothing. I've never encountered one like that. The more I smell it, the more I'm smelling absolutely nothing. That's crazy. Well, let's get a sip on this beer, guys. This is pretty weird shit. All right, cheers. Wow. Okay. This beer is not refined at all. Wow. There's a lot going on in that, but it is not refined. There's things all over the place. This is super, super jumbled up. First thing I notice is just like liquid caramel. Just like super, super malty, caramelly. Alcohol kind of hitting all over the place. Kind of like that fusel alcohol, not necessarily nice alcohol. It's like 8%. You can taste it. You can feel it all over your mouth. Second sip is a lot better, not so surprising and just sort of all over the place, because you know what to expect now. There's some sweet citrus notes, there's some sweet orange, there's some tangerine, there's some grapefruit rind. But pretty damn malty. This beer is like a week old from canning, and it was in the fridge. it shouldn't taste that malty for New England style, as they claim. No, definitely not New England style at all. Just definitely reminds me of a super malty double IPA from the West Coast. You know, it is really, really hoppy. I can definitely feel the hops. The aftertaste isn't terrible. It's definitely drying, a little sticky even. Got a lot of malts in it. Not overly bitter. It's got like a medium kind of grapefruit orange rind bitterness to it, but there's no freaking aroma to this beer whatsoever, guys. It's the weirdest thing. It's got a pretty light mouthfeel. I wouldn't say it's watery, but it's not creamy really either. It's just sort of right in between the two. Definitely confusing beer. This is. It's now that you know, like it's a blend of 3 beers. You can sort of tell this is like. It's almost like just seeing what you have in the fridge and throwing it together. It sort of doesn't make sense. There's a lot of things in this that just don't. That they're clashing. Yeah, it might seem like a good idea to throw 3 beers together. It seems kind of lazy to me in a way because this is not really working. Like it's not bad, but it's certainly not good, and it's certainly not all the hype and all the self-promotion and saying how great it is. It's called BOOMSAUCE, guys. It says it's going to wrap you in a juice blanket. Far from it, to be honest with you, and I'm giving this thing a fair shake. I seriously am. Just really caramel aroma. The flavor is just getting more and more like just burnt caramel, almost like a malty red ale or like a Scotch ale would give you, that kind of tone. Yeah, just like almost roasted malt. It's really weird shit. You know, it's got, again, some citrus notes, like just basically some like overripe orange, a little bit of like lemon peel. Then it finishes dry, finishes a little sticky with some grapefruit rind bitterness, a little bit pithy. But to be honest, this tastes like a double IPA that I had like 10 years ago, you know, on the West Coast or something like that. This is not even in the same like conversation as something like Trillium, which is literally just the next town from these guys. Not even in the same conversation, same universe as the best New England style hoppy beers. That's just the facts. I mean, it's light years away. So I mean, I don't mean to beat this thing up too much, but it almost like deserved it because everything I read, I mean, I kind of got to go and believe the masses on this one, but I still went into it with a very open mind because I haven't had it before. But after reading so much shit about this beer, I kind of knew what you're going to get. I mean, this is not the way that you promote a beer. You let the beer speak for itself. You don't name it something silly and arrogant. I think you just let it, you know, let the people try it, let the beer, you know, do the talking for you, and then, you know, the people will do this advertising for you. Word of mouth is the most powerful thing, I think, for any business. So, you know, you gotta let the beer speak for itself. And yeah, it's just not speaking very much at all. And it's, you know, it's kind of a letdown. I think the guy spent like $3 million or something getting this huge brewery space. You know, maybe if you try the other 3 beers on their own, maybe they're better. I really don't know. I'd have to try them. I don't know if I want to. This can cost $4.50, which is pretty damn expensive. You're talking about like almost a $20 4-pack for a beer, which I think is, yeah, that's way too much for this. Way too much. It should be half that price, or at least like $10, I guess would be more reasonable. But yeah, no, not doing it for me. So guys, as far as the BOOMSAUCE, the rating on this beer is an 83 right now on BeerAdvocate. And if this is the 3rd batch and this is supposed to be better than the first two. I'm afraid to know what the first batch tasted like. They got a long way to go, but I think that they could definitely take this and make it into something. But, you know, again, if you're just taking 3 beers and blending them, it's going to be sort of hard. You have to improve on all 3 of the beers then to make this better. Or just make a beer called BOOMSAUCE, but make it original. Make it its own thing, you know? But as far as a rating, it's an 83 on BeerAdvocate, which is really, really low for what's supposed to be the next big thing in New England for hoppy beers. I'm gonna just go ahead and agree with the users. 83. I mean, it's so much lower than my typical ratings for like the New England hoppy beers are high 90s to 100. So it's an 83 on BeerAdvocate. I'm going 83 on this, guys. It's not terrible, but I don't like the whole arrogance and pretentiousness behind it. So, you know, it definitely leaves a more of a bad taste in your mouth. And I think that's what a lot of people had a problem with. I think they would have given it more of a chance and been a lot more forgiving about it if it wasn't presented to them by the owner in such a pompous, arrogant kind of way. You know, I just don't think that was the way to go about it. But it's just beer, guys. It's just beer. But somebody invested a lot of money to make this happen, so you know it's pretty serious to him and whoever else is involved in the business. So they got to work on the aroma on this beer. It just smells like malt. It's really nothing good about it. So my final thoughts on this beer, as far as the taste goes, guys, is it tastes like a butterscotch candy with an imperial red ale type of malt and hoppiness to it. You know, it's just not even in the right style. And maybe that's why they call it a hoppy ale. Maybe they don't want to even classify it as a double IPA, but it's definitely drinks like a super malty, caramelly, butterscotchy imperial red ale rather than a New England style. It's pretty much the opposite, like legitimately, literally the opposite of what Trillium and Trials are doing, which is basically 0 malt, just enough to have it as a backbone, and then just let the hop shine. Aromas bursting out of the glass, you know, super clean, super juicy, super hoppy, and then clean, no bitterness, and again, no malt and alcohol hidden. This is literally the opposite of that. It's just not working. So let me know, guys, if you've had the BOOMSAUCE. I wanted to get this review out because nobody else has done it yet, and it's just been, people have been bitching and moaning so much about this lately. It's like, I got to try this for myself and get it on YouTube for you guys so you can just get the final word on this from me. I definitely am a fan of Lord Hobo. It's a great beer bar, great food, great tap list. I think it's a cool place to go to, but they have a lot of work to do over there. And I think, to me, taking 3 IPAs and then combining them to make another IPA and have that be your flagship beer is like if Stone took Stone IPA, Stone Ruination, Stone Enjoy By, threw them together, released it, and said, boom, sauce. Yeah, I don't get it. I just don't understand why you do that. You know, I say make a new beer. I just say, you know, work on the 3 beers, that's fine, but make a new beer. You know, just make it something unique, something, you know, change the recipe completely, because this combination is not working really at all. But again, let me know if you've had the BOOMSAUCE, guys. I'd love to know what you think about it. I do not recommend you trade for this beer. I would wait until you hear better things about it or see the score changing on BeerAdvocate or on Tapped or wherever, because it has a lot of work to do on it. But let me know if you did get curious and try it. I want to know your thoughts, if you agree with me, disagree with me. If someone from Lord Hobo sees this, I mean, I don't know what to say. I love your restaurant and your beer bar, but this isn't doing it for me. And I will definitely be willing to try the other beers, and I'd be willing to try this again when you guys tweak it. And so thanks for watching. 83 from me, unfortunately. But anyways, guys, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next beer review. Cheers.